Welcome back to Forging a Stoic mini-series presented by Hazeyheaded, where I will be reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, book by book. And today we are on book 7. And this one had a lot of ideas of focusing your energy on what's important. He's talked about in the past not caring about others, what others think, everything like that, but this really dials in on your energy being expended in the right direction. So first I wanted to book 7. I always take notes of passages that I think stand out, and I like to discuss them and kind of say what I think. So today on book 7, we're going to start with paragraph 3. And when I reference books, that is essentially just chapters. So 3, pointless bustling of processions, opera arias, herds of sheep and cattle, military exercises, a bone flung to pet poodles, a little food in the fish tank, the miserable servitude of ants, scampering of frightened mice, puppets jerked on strings. Surrounded as we are by all of this, we need to practice acceptance without disdain, but remembering that our own worth is measured by what we devote our energy to. So I think this is a very interesting paragraph by what he's speaking of, because when he's referencing these things, these societies almost, what he's saying is that all we can do is accept it. We're going to be surrounded by things that we can't control. There's situations where people are drafted in the military. They had zero choice. They were born into that. You have to go to school. If you don't, you're going to be breaking the law. You have to do these set amount of things to get by. And he's saying accept that without sort of a hesitation and without a hatred towards that. As dumb as it may be, there's certain situations like that. That was just off the top of my head, where it's going to inhibit you from what you truly want to do. He's saying, just deal with it. And whatever you can control, put your energy into it. No, so it's a beautiful thing, because I've been on this mental health, self-improvement journey myself. And, there's a lot of talk about manifestations and things like that. And I think it's a cool concept, a little bit of pseudoscience involved in that, but this is pure philosophical take. Whatever you put your energy into, whether it's thoughts, actions, motivations, whatever you do, that is going to reflect on who you are as a person. If I'm going to wake up every day at 5 a.m., which fuck that, I'm never going to do that. But if you wake up with a precision and a power to attack the day, and you know what you're going to do, and you don't dick around on your phone for 40 plus hours at a time, you're going to get rewarded for that. Conversely, if you are staying up till the brink of dawn and you're drinking and you're partying and you're not giving a fuck about anything productive, it's going to reflect. It's as simple as that. What you put your energy into, you are going to get. Next up was 7. And what he says here, don't be ashamed to need help. Like a soldier storming a wall, you have a mission to accomplish. And if you've been wounded and you need a comrade to pull you up, so what? I never would have thought in Meditations, as much as I've read so far, that this would even be a chapter in there. That's why it stood out to me so much, because it's always talking about needing to focus on yourself, self-improvement, climb that wall, sort of ideology. But you shouldn't feel ashamed to need help. It's pretty cool, because that is something I have myself come to realize, is that if I confide in a friend, or I confide I keep saying consult, confide in a friend, confide in a family member, and I say, I need help. There's nothing wrong with that. I think if it's someone you care about, I think they're going to help you no matter what. And it's important to return that as well. Don't just be the guy that always needs help. Once you get back on your feet, help others. I'll tell you something funny in work. I can't give away names, but she calls in. I work in insurance, and she's always needing help. And she has it in a way where it's like she expects it from other people, and she expects people to help her. And it's a very kind of narcissistic attitude that is very prevalent. And she had a falling out with her daughter, and she's had many falling outs because you can tell that she just truly does not learn from her mistakes. And that's sad. I think if you're somebody who is a chronic loser, for lack of a better term, then I think that's a little different. I think what Marcus is referring to here is that if you have reached a tough time or a tough point and you need help, use that as a spring, not just a temporary stepping stone. And I think that's important distinction, because we're all going to make mistakes, but it's important, very, very important, to show with your actions that you thank people, because it would be a shame to fail again without any lessons. You can fail 100 times. You could fail 100,000 times. But as long as you are learning and you are implementing those lessons for your next failure, it doesn't matter. That's important. People are going to be there, and never take them for granted, and be there for them as well. Next up was 18. Frightened of change, but what can exist without it? What's closer to nature's heart? Can you take a hot bath and leave the firewood as it was? Eat food without transforming it? Can any vital process take place without something being changed? Can't you see? It's just the same with you, and just as vital to nature. Think about that. That was probably top 5 of my favorite passages I've read so far. Think about it. I always like the butterfly, the idea of the butterfly. These girls always have their arms tattooed with them. But if you really think about it, it's actually pretty cool, because you're this fat little piece of shit grub, caterpillar, whatever those little ugly bastards are, and they're eating, they're being gluttonous. They have no sort of idea of what they're doing. They're just being fat. They're eating. They're not doing anything. They don't know anything. I think that's really the sign of my early 20s before recently. I'd say I'm more mid-20s now, 23 going on 24, but my 20 to 22 era was like that, just being this fat little bastard caterpillar. And then the caterpillar winds up. He goes in his chrysalis, and he is dormant. He's not doing anything. People don't know if he's alive. People don't know what he's doing. The caterpillar's in there changing. He's growing. He's using all his lesson. He's using all the food that he ate to grow and develop. And then what happens? He gets these beautiful wings, and they burst out of the chrysalis or cocoon, depending on if it's a moth. You get my point. And he has these beautiful wings, and little man has figured it out. He's beautiful. He's got so much energy. He has a goal. He pollinates. He flies north if you're a monarch butterfly, and he is just truly elegant. And that's truly how we have to be. That was a very shitty metaphor and spoken poorly, but you get my point, is that change is inevitable. It's up to you to make it if the change is good or bad. That's all. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to change. Our bodies are going to age. We're going to go through a natural process of change. health problems are going to happen to us. It's inevitable. So it's really important to put your change in the right direction. And if you stay stagnant, you're not growing or doing anything. And that's just as bad as changing for the worse. So align yourself with goodness. Align yourself in a path or a trajectory that you can be proud of. A path that even if you have sucked it up, even if you fucked up every little thing in your life, you can strive to be better, improve, be the best thing that you can be for yourself. So next up was 29. Discard your misperceptions. Stop being jerked like a puppet. Limit yourself to the present. Understand what happens to you, to others. Analyze what exists. Break it all down. Material and cause. Anticipate your final hours. Other people's mistakes, leave them to their mistakes. I love this. Jerked like a puppet. Beautiful, Marcus. They had puppets apparently in ancient Rome. I'm sure they did because it's in this book and it's not such a crazy concept. But analyze what exists. All you have is what is in front of you. There's nothing else. You can't compare yourself to little Johnny that has everything. Oh, well, he got to step up in life, so that kind of just means, that's just shit out of luck. I guess I can't accomplish what he's going to accomplish. Bullshit. Who cares? Little Johnny can go suck a fat one. Like, at the end of the day, you are little you. You're not little Johnny. So just focus on yourself. I like what it says, analyze your final hours, because look at it this way. He talks about it all the time. All you have is the present. If you're so lucky to have the future, what would you want people to say? Obviously, that's a little oxymoronic, where I am comparing something that you should not. You should not have people's perceptions affect you. But just look at it this way. Would you want people to see, oh, he was a good guy. He did what he was supposed to do. He didn't really fucking do anything, but, or would you want, he was a little weird, he was a little fucking odd, kind of oddball, but my God, did he accomplish his dreams? Or my God, did he try to accomplish his dreams? Or my God, did he change for the better? Think about it. What do you want? You want to be that average fucking Joe that nobody cares about? That's fine. I don't think that's a problem. As long as you are bettering yourself and you want to be the best average fucking Joe that has ever lived. But otherwise, it's all bullshit. Literally, take a slice and just embrace this life. Embrace the struggle. Just know that everything is going to be good. But I got a little off track on his message there. He's pretty much saying in this, be in the present, analyze what exists, break it all down, material and cause. So just really be introspective in your existence. I thought it was pretty cool. Last chapter that stood out to me, last paragraph of this chapter, book 7, is 62. And 62 says, look at who they really are, the people whose approval you long for and what their minds are really like. Then you won't blame the ones that make mistakes they can't help, and you won't feel a need for their approval. You will have seen the sources of both, their judgments and their actions. If you could magically be into someone's mind, you could realize how insignificant their thought processes are. That's kind of fucked up to say, but just look at the general population. They're probably, once you hop into their little head, they're going to be thinking, oh my God, what does this person think of me? This and that. Confidence and self-expression are so rare nowadays that it's almost comical. I'm not saying that I am above that. I think there's a lot of times where I'm worried about stupid shit, like, oh, what are they going to think of me? But at the end of the day, leave it to yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Look at who they really are. You would realize that, even if they have wronged you or they have been very self-absorbent, it doesn't come from a place of security. It doesn't come from a place of confidence. So redirect that energy back into yourself. Well, this has been Book 7. I hope you've liked this discussion. Keep listening more for Forging a Stoic mini-series, and I'm out. Thank you.